Hi everyone, it's Adam Collingwood here. Welcome to today's webinar. Now, one of the most important attributes of being a financial trader and investor is to be able to react quickly to changes in the financial markets when they are triggered by dramatic events. And in this particular case, at the moment, the markets are being significantly affected by the coronavirus scare. You're going to know that the markets have been dropping significantly, and there's certain stocks that have been affected significantly and some that have actually benefited from that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the statistics so far, and I will then go on to provide my analysis of what stocks and sectors have been hit by the coronavirus the most and those that are actually benefiting. Okay, so we're going to look at one end of the spectrum to the other. Okay, so the stocks that have been falling considerably and the ones that have been rising. Now, when the markets are fearful and volatile, as a trader, this does provide an abundance of opportunities. And we want to take advantage of the sell-off and the rallies in between. So in this training, what we're going to do is go through a step-by-step process I use to find those opportunities, and then how we can implement them and take full advantage. We'll look at how then we can short sell the troubled stocks by spread betting, the trading platform, and also the stocks and sectors that will benefit most at the moment, and of course how to buy those. One thing I will say though, this is the purpose of this training is for education purposes only. So if you do decide to buy or sell any of the stocks or ETFs that that I cover off here, you have to do so at your own risk. I'm not actually giving advice. I might be trading some of these stocks myself, not actually giving any individual advice, as I don't actually have any understanding of your own personal circumstances or what your appetite is for investment risk. So if you're investing or trading your own money, then that's entirely up to you. I provide continuing education, training, mentorship for people who want to learn how to trade shares. And of course, all the existing personal traders and investors that want to improve their skills and importantly, maximizing their returns. And that's something I do on a continuous basis with my membership groups. And okay, so without further ado, what we're going to look at to begin with is some charts and maps showing how quickly the coronavirus is spreading across the world. This is courtesy of BuzzFeed and researchers done at Johns Hopkins University. So I just want to credit these guys because I do a lot of research and some fantastic information that we can find. So the COVID-19 disease caused by novel coronavirus discovered late last year in Wuhan in China. So we now know, though it's discovered late last year, how quickly it is starting to spread. And what they've done here is they've just saying the total number of cases. So as at March the 4th, it's the 5th of March today. So March the 4th, total of 94,251 cases. We can look at the number of deaths at the moment. That is 3,214. Okay. And, so today is the 5th of March. It's going to be interesting to see how this number changes as this virus spreads. Of course, this is looking total deaths at the moment is very small, and we hope that that will continue to be the case. But if it is going to spread as quickly as they say that it will, then clearly that number is going to rise. So this is another useful chart that they provided, where saying that 80,270 in China but in the rest of the world, it's actually 13,981. Okay, if you do want to link to this particular site, then I'll put this at the bottom of this video, and you can look at these as it's changing over a period of time. So the vast majority of the cases have been in China. Sudden jump on the February 13th was due to change in how they're being diagnosed and counted. Okay, so of course that's very important how they are counting these now, and so paying attention to all the people are now saying they think that they've got it, the ones who are in quarantine. So the total deaths though in China 2,981 and 233 in other countries. Okay, so at the moment, and they've done a chart here as well, which is very useful. If you're watching this in the UK, where I'm based, you can see in the UK at the moment 53 cases, and there hasn't actually been any deaths, but you know, who knows what this number is going to look like in the future. But clearly what it has done is it's created a lot of panic in the financial markets, and that's triggered some real big sell-offs. Now, what we could say is that that does present a great opportunity to buy stocks at discounted prices, especially those really, really good stocks. And so what we will do is we'll have a look at those opportunities, but most importantly, the stocks that have suffered the most, the sectors that have suffered the most, and we'll look at those ones that are in free fall, and of course the stocks that are benefiting and rising. And there's a lot of common sense here when we look at the ones that are going to do well and the ones that are going to do poorly. But I'm going to show you how I identify that information now. So I go into my super duper software, SharePad, and this is just like the most amazing bit of kit to find out all sorts of information. So what I'll show you is this is just the FTSE 250 companies. We want to look at what's going on in America as well. But you can see in the travel and leisure industry, what I've done here is I've sorted since the 20th of February. I have sorted through I wanted to find out the companies that were affected the most, and that was the day, that was on the Monday when the market started to plummet. Okay, so that's why I put that date in there. I've got these columns here, how these particular stocks have performed over the last year, 3, 5 years, but I can actually go in and just say, please tell me what stocks were affected the most since this particular time, and these are the ones in this particular table. Okay, so you can see the restaurant group there has fallen by 37%. Got SS&P group is another one. So travel and leisure has been a sector that's been hit really hard. Okay, it's really been affected because of the fear that people aren't going to be traveling anywhere. They're not going to be going out as much because they're concerned. Look at Cineworld as well. So you see Cineworld has fallen by 62%, but since the 20th of February, they've fallen by 43%, which is crazy. But if we just click here, what we can do is we can see the stocks that have actually benefited the most during that time. Okay, and surprisingly, the ones that managed to actually hold their own, ones in the financial services sector. Okay, and a spread betting firm here has done very well out of this. 2 spread betting firms. Do you see how they're benefiting? Because of the fact that they're going to be trading markets. So IG, who I use, they've benefited as well, literally because of the fact that people are going to be trading stocks. So you can see, ones automatically that you can take advantage of. Now, the healthcare sector is another one. And what we're going to do is look at that healthcare sector, because I've identified quite a number of stocks that are doing very, very well. And of course, we want to take advantage of those trending stocks, but we will look at the ones that have dropped as well. Okay. Okay, so I've just sorted the US shares into, again, the total return since the 20th of February. And you can see there Allied Healthcare. So just literally in a couple of weeks, Allied Healthcare, their share price has gone up by 575%. Strange that. Let's have a look at their financials and who they are. So if we look at what the company does, Allied Healthcare is a US-based company, mainly manufactures a variety of respiratory products used in the healthcare industry, wide range of hospital and so let's say alternate site settings, including subacute care facilities. Okay, so you can see that particular company is benefiting massively. So if you look at the chart, this is what's happened. So let's just zoom in on that. So this was the 26th of February. That's the 20th of February. So 20th of February, the close of the day was at 239, and it went as high as 42.39, which is just incredible. The price has come back again to close as 16.14, but you can see at that point there, the close that actually got to a high. That high there is just crazy, just purely based on the fact that this company is going to benefit from the coronavirus scare. So if we just plot this from here, so just there, and then right to the top there, you can see it's the highest point. It went up by 876%. Okay, 876%, which is absolutely astonishing. Okay, but that just goes to show what can happen when certain companies are going to benefit from certain events, as in this case. You can look at iBio. This company wasn't particularly doing very well. Suddenly, as a consequence of the coronavirus, its share prices has benefited. So again here, 29 price, if you look there to the close of the day, was $33. And if we look at the close at that point, or high at that point, got to $340. So the increase from here to here is just it's just crazy. But that's taking advantage of the market and market sentiment. What sectors benefit the most? You know, this company is actually going to profit massively. Look at that. So iBio to date, well, from 20th of February, has increased by 518%. So if we look at a chart of iBio on ProRealTime charts, which is the platform, this is the charts I use for trading, you can see on the 26th of February, the share price was, look at that, 32.5. Okay, so that actually means 32 cents. And because it's an American share, And there was the high point. So on the 28th, on the Friday, it went to 338. How crazy is that? From there to there, it went up just massively. Yeah. It's pulled back a little bit, but you can see where the trend is going here. Okay. And, you know, this is a small company that nobody would have really bothered about, but suddenly, you know, they're very popular because of the coronavirus. This is just astonishing. But this is how we can find these particular companies. It's only a small company. You can see the market cap here. They are at the moment 198 million. They certainly wouldn't have been that before their share price increased, because of course the market cap is calculated by the current share price. But they're currently 198 million company, and that's how they've benefited. You've got Co-Diagnostics, goods and services company. This one here, Alpha Protech, that's a fantastic company. I mean, you can look at that. That's gone up by 322%, just literally over the last year. That's a great company to have bought. I'll just show you the chart of that one. But that wasn't anything to do with what's happened at the moment. It just actually appears on there as a stock that is trending very nicely at the moment in the construction industry. But then all the other ones, as we look down, all healthcare sector. Okay, so this is the sector that is benefiting the most from coronavirus, so the coronavirus scare, and we can take advantage of this. Okay, so what I do is I will go to my ProRealTime screen, and I have lists of all sorts of different weird and wonderful things, all sorted in different watch lists. What I'm looking at, fallen stocks 2020. So in there, you're going to have companies like Fever Tree Drinks, which has really fallen massively. That was a stock in vogue at one point, but that's a fallen stock at the moment. And then I also have top stocks of 2020. So this is the creme de la creme of stocks that I believe will do well during 2020. So I have those on my watch list, and I put new ones on, take some off, but so that's a moving feast. But so that's my little treasure chest here. Where there's fallen stocks, I'm able to short sell, and these ones I'm able to buy. So I am either buying those shares, or I'm actually spread betting them. I'm trading them, which enables me to go in and out of those particular stocks once they hit certain highs or certain lows if we're selling them. Okay, but you can see here I've also got my own little stock list of companies affected by the coronavirus. Okay, and I can add more to those from what I've found within my nice bit of software here with SharePad. Okay, so here's how I find those particular companies. I'm sorting the companies that are trending well. Okay, I can also go into news on here, so I can just on the news items I can filter these. So I'll just show you. So here my filters, I'll have things like earnings. I want to know what companies, when their earnings are being reported, and whether they are positive, whether there's a profits warning on company. So it will tell me whether any companies have a profits warning. I want to be alerted to that. I've got filters for the healthcare sector and, of course, coronavirus. So if we click on coronavirus, what this will do is, this is based on like current share, but if I looked at the current list of what I have in here, this will actually tell me the latest information of what's happening with the coronavirus. Okay, and I can find out all sorts of news. I'm looking at news on here all the time because I want to see what is actually happening, what's going to be affected. So for example, here today, Saga is unable to yet count cost of coronavirus on the travel business. Okay, so, you know, we can go in and have a look at what that's saying. So I'm looking at this information all the time. To be a good trader and a good investor, you have to be up to speed with everything. This is where the money is. This is where the money is, always where the money is. The financial markets are moving all the time. You need to know the sectors that are trending up or down. So here it's saying Saga's Cruiser has forward sales for 80% of target revenue. Okay, there has been a higher level of cancellations following the coronavirus. Okay, so is the share price going to be affected as a consequence of that? Well, what we can do is we can go and type in Saga. This isn't Saga in America. We're actually looking for all instruments. Okay, so you've got to also identify, sometimes there can be two companies the same. People would associate Saga Communications, you know, is that UK? No, it's a different company. Okay, that's an American company there on the NASDAQ. Okay, so that's sometimes important. You know, you don't want to be looking, trying to analyze a certain stock and it's the wrong one. so this is Saga. All right, now let's just have a look at the performance. So look at that. I mean, 49% Saga has dropped by since 20th of February. 49%, and over the last year 81%. So let's have a look at a chart of them. So you can see these candles here. Now from 24th, the price was £42. It's now dropped to £22. So it's massively in free fall. Okay, massively in free fall. So what we can do is we can go to Saga, and this is on my ProRealTime charts. And what I look for on here is when a price crosses below my black line, my magic black line here. So once it's below that black line, I'm always looking for a sell. Okay, so here, if you look across to the right, it was £48. So in spread bet speak, that would have been 482, and at the moment it's 226. So if I went to Saga, I wanted to trade Saga, I got a choice. I can actually, with Saga, I can either buy the spot price, or I can take any of these particular contracts. So if I was going to be holding this trade longer term, then I could hold it until September 2020, and I wouldn't have to worry about any rolling interest by keeping the trade open overnight like I would if I was buying the spot price or selling on the spot price. Okay, so if I wanted to buy Saga, firstly, what I look at if I'm going to spread bet them is I want to know the margin factor. And what this tells me is I have leverage of 5 to 1. So if I'm buying the individual shares for, you know, £2,000 worth of shares, because I thought they were going to go up, that's all I'd be putting in. But of course, I'm not going to be buying Saga at the moment, or I don't want to buy them when they're in decline. I want to, you know, so I'm not saying I'm going to at all, but if I wanted to decide to sell them, okay, I can do so. I can go into the deal ticket, and I can either order to open a trade to sell at a certain point, or I can just deal now. Okay, so let's just say that I wanted to trade Saga at £10 per point. Okay, the cost, the spread cost there is, you know, quite small. Okay, so the difference between the sell and the buy price is the spread commissions that I'd be paying to the broker. Now, what I would need, if I was trading at £10 per point here, I would need to have £45.48 in my trading account. If I was trading at £100 per point, I'd need to have £454.80. So if I wanted to press the sell button now, that would then make, immediately would be selling Saga. Okay, so if we go back to Saga, how much further, what I would be looking for is how much further can this stock fall by? Has it already had enough now? Has it already taken so much of a kicking? Or could it fall even further? Okay, but Saga is only one of many stocks that I would have on my shortlist. So you can see what I did there. Let's go back to SharePad. So let's have a look at the news again. All right, so I had decided I wanted to filter the news. So I'm looking at any information about the coronavirus, any companies that have been affected by it. And immediately you can see Saga unable to count cost of coronavirus on the travel business. Okay, so Page Group, Lord's record 2019, but coronavirus hurts 2020 profit to date. Okay, Premier Oil profit slips over 30%. Okay, so I'm looking at this type of information on here, and you know, it can. Of course, you can Google stuff, but it doesn't tell you anywhere near as much information as what you can find in here. So coronavirus to hurt Hive earnings amid event postponements. So if you wanted to look at this particular company, so you can see how it's just highlighted. All I needed to put in was coronavirus in my filter of the news, and it will then bring up the company that the companies that are going to be affected. Okay, really, really clever. It's great with earnings as well. If you're looking for companies with positive earnings or negative earnings, broker consensus, all of that kind of information, and we can literally just filter that within the news items on here. Okay, so I can just, I delete a lot of them, but I have all sorts of filters on here. There's blockchain companies, Bitcoin, for example, so companies like Neo and Ethereum, they will all actually be in here, so I can filter companies on that basis. And very, very useful tool, keeps me up to speed with everything. And you can see here, this is all today's date. I can go back to previous dates as well. So I'm not going to go into to all of these companies because you know, we'll be here all day. The purpose of this training is to just show you how I can very, very quickly identify stocks that are either in trouble, like Saga, or those healthcare companies that I showed you before that are benefiting from what's happening at the moment. Okay, so you know, and it didn't take me very long, did it, to do that. So what I can do is just go back and have a look again at the all US shares. I can go in again, and I can just filter, quick sector filter. So what else could we look at? You know, something I think would be useful is pharmaceuticals, biotech, and marijuana producers. So we can just filter those particular sectors, which is in the healthcare sector. So let's just do that. And then this brings up those particular companies again. So, you know, it's not all companies in that healthcare sector that are going to benefit, but what we want is by putting in this sort of, I've created this little column here. It's very easy to do. I could just go in, I could edit the comment column here. And what I did is I just put in there, since close of 20th of February 2020, I wanted to know the percentage change. Okay, so that's how I was able to extrapolate this information. So it's just, I can change that to any date that I wanted. I just wanted to, I put in on the 20th of February because that's the date when all the trouble started. Okay, so, you know, we certainly wouldn't be looking at any of these companies at the moment because clearly they're not being bought because they're in in a negative situation in the healthcare sector. But the ones that are doing well, we can see here. So if I wanted to say, look at this company called 47 Inc. Okay, I can then go to my spread betting chart and I can put in that company there, 47 Inc. Okay, so those are the contracts. If I wanted to buy forward contracts up to say September 2020, I don't want to do that. I just want to have a look at the spot price. Okay, so you can see this particular company. So it was already trending up nicely anyway since so the price back in November, as it crossed through my magic black line, was 770, and the price is now a crazy 9390. I mean, that's just daft, but you know, that's what can happen. That's what can happen. I mean, that's just shot up massively since 28th of February. You know, and we're at the 5th of March today, and that's what's happened. Okay, so we can now go back. So that's my ProRealTime chart. If I wanted to go in, let's have a quick look again on the trading platform. So let's get rid of Saga, and we will now put in 47. All right, 47 Inc. And I want to have a look at the information there. So getting information. So there the margin factor is 25%. Okay, so that means 4 to 1 if I'm trading that stock. If I was going to buy that stock, it would be a 4 to 1 leverage on there. Okay, so the margin factor is the most important thing here. So if I wanted to trade 47, and so order to open, and I was looking at the buy price there of 9448, and I wanted to trade at 24p per point. Because this market isn't open at the moment, because the US market isn't open currently, but when it does open, it would calculate the margin required. But I'm going to quickly show you how to do that when you're spread betting. So what we do is we go 9448, which is the price that you would be buying at if you're able to get that price. You multiply that by 0.24, okay, and then times that by 25%. Equals £566. So if I wanted to buy 47 Inc. at 0.24 on the premise, I think that the share price will rise even more to say, so I thought it was going to rise to say 10,448. So 1,000 points in spread bet speak at 24p per point, then that would be £240 worth of profit. Conversely, if the price dropped from 9448 to 8448, if it dropped by 1,000 points, then I would be down £240. But to be able to trade this particular stock, to be able to press the buy button at 24p, the broker would ask me to have £566.88 pence in my trading account. Even though it's a US stock that I'm trading, I'm in the UK, and therefore it's all about pounds in the UK. All right, so that's how we were able to quickly trade that particular stock. If I then, if I wanted to create a list within here, I have shown before, but I will do it again. So 47, let's just go into them again. And what we can do is we can set a price alert, set an indicator alert. So I've shown you how to do those many times before, but if I just say add to watch list, okay, we can now add this to my watch list, okay, which I'll do now, submit, and that has now been added to my watch list, okay. If I want to wait for the stock to pull back to say, set a price alert, so when the price is lower than say 8448. I'm just saying that number. I have not looked at where the support line or anything where I thought that would come back to. I would just put it set alert, and then it set alert for me, and it will tell me when the price came back to 8448 whenever that happened. Okay. So we can now go back to to our shares screen. And so this is how I can mine those individual stocks. Okay. So what we've looked at is the ones that we are able to buy. We've looked at news, how we can extrapolate information from there on stocks that are going to be in trouble. So lots of these going back to my lists here. I've put a lot of them on my coronavirus list. And if you do want and I've put a lot of analysis into this, if you do want that coronavirus list of stocks, you can see how I have actually found them, and just let me know. Okay, so just ping me a message and say, yes, please give me the coronavirus watch list, and I will send you a list of those. They are going to be changing all the time. I'm going to be adding new ones, taking ones off, etc. But you can see how I'm able to get that information and how you can too. All right. So we also are able to look at these. So if I take the filter off now, so we've seen those, we've filtered the healthcare companies that are benefiting, and so we can see how these are performing. Moderna has done well. Over the coming months, these companies are going to benefit more and more if the coronavirus is going to be a pandemic, as they're saying it will be. Okay. So let's just exit there, exit the filtering. And so what we want to do now is look at sectors that are negatively affected, which are also on my watch list. Okay, so I've got buys on there and I've also got sells on there. Okay, so look at the energy sectors. Okay, they are really struggling at the moment and have been for quite some time. But it's the travel and leisure ones. It's like Spirit Airlines. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you that particular company. I'm going to Spirit Airlines. This is on. So this is different to the Shares Scope platform. This is actually how I trade all the time. For those of you who are new, have not met me before. So Spirit Airlines, this is the abbreviation there. The code is SAVE. They certainly do need to be saved at the moment. So all the airline companies are in free fall. Wizz Air is another one. And you can see again, 24th of February, look at the share price. So share price is doing okay since October, reached a high of 4712, and now the price is at 2532. Okay, so they are really struggling as people are frightened to fly. So what I can do there, add to list, add to the coronavirus list. Okay, so that's the easiest way of calling anything a list, to say coronavirus. Anything that's affected by the coronavirus, we want to know about at the moment. And if you are holding shares in some of these free falling stocks, you don't want to be in them too much longer. I mean, you should have been out much earlier, but there's still a lot further that they could fall by. Another company, for example, at the moment, which is EasyJet, they've been falling considerably as well. So that's EasyJet. So all the airline companies. So again, add to list. That one's already on the coronavirus list. Okay. So if we go back to SharePad, and you can see, so I showed you Cineworld before as well, which has been affected. There's lots of them. Okay, lots of them. But I want to see these what these stocks look like all the time on the charts. I want to know what's going on. I want to be able to say, we can take advantage of this. I think, with trading, and whether you're trading shares or whether you're actually buying shares, the more information you have as to what's going on, the better positioned you're going to be in terms of making money in the future. So you certainly don't want to have your money in the travel and leisure sector at the moment. That's obvious to see here. So travel and leisure, look, this is just in a couple of weeks been affected the most. 31.9 Norwegian cruise line holdings. Okay, cruise liners. It's, although it's common sense, a lot of people don't look at this type of thing. Golden Entertainment's another company. Penn National Gaming. These travel and leisure companies are really hurting at the moment. Carol's Restaurant Group. Okay, there's another restaurant group that I put on there as well before, which has been affected. Now, finally, what I just want to do, just finish up, because I could talk about this all day. This is what I do in my courses, all the training, consultations, etc. But this is all, just to give you a really good idea of how powerful this is, when you can actually find information as quickly as we can because of technology and the genius of these companies like SharePad and what IG have done, and the ProRealTime charts, etc. As personal traders and investors, we've never ever had a better time, never been in a better period of time as now, to be able to at our fingertips find information this quickly, extrapolate that information, and then execute. Okay, and execute meaning to buy those individual shares, that are climbing, and to be short selling the ones that are falling. Okay, I don't normally like short selling stocks, but at the end of the day, we're in this to make money. Okay, and companies are quite happy to take them, our money off us, and we're buying their services. So when their share prices are falling, I hope that they all turn around eventually. I won't be selling if I think that they are turning around. I'd rather be buying stocks, companies at the moment that I really like. I still love Apple. I still like Amazon and Advanced Micro Technologies and Nvidia, because they're all benefiting. They're all technology companies, and technology is going to continue going only one way. So what I've done here is I've shown you how to find the stocks, how I sort everything out into order, how we can quickly go into news and extrapolate information from there, which is great. And just go into anything there. We can go to any one of these stocks, and we can find out information about what's going on with them, or we can filter, as I've shown you with, typing in coronavirus, okay, and then bring up that information. It's just so clever. I absolutely love it. It's my passion. If you're going to trade, invest, you really got to do it properly. Okay, there's no point in, you have to master it, not dabble. You have to master. Okay, and that means just understanding how you can find the information very quickly. It doesn't take that long. That's the thing about this. It doesn't, because of the way that technology is. It's just, you just got to understand how it all works, and that's what I provide training in, so that you become a better investor and a better trader, so you can make more money and just become wealthy, or just looking to achieve financial security. And there's no better way than buying individual stocks or short selling in times like these. So the last thing I just wanted to do was just show you, if you wanted to take advantage, rather than going in on individual stocks, the sector where you can, so if I just put in healthcare. Yeah, so if we look at, say, healthcare, select sector, what you can do is you can you can go and buy a particular sector, such as health, obviously, because we know that the health sector is benefiting from the coronavirus scare, and this is what's happened with it. So potentially this has got scope to get to a high here. This is the previous high, which is at 10,473. So potentially that could come back up to that particular level again. And of course, if it does, then you benefit from that. If you wanted to trade that, for example, then you would go into G, so XLV, healthcare, and then what you would do is just quickly check how much margin you would need in your account. So 20% margin factor, so you would actually get leverage of 5-to-1 there. So again, you're still benefiting more by being able to spread bet this and individually buying this sector, okay, with your own just cash. So here you are spread betting it. So 5-to-1, buy price 10,003. Again, we can put that on the watch list. So I'm not saying I'm going to be buying, because there's other things that I found that I want to actually take advantage of at the moment. But the other thing is as well, you know, when you are trading shares, you do need to have a certain amount in your trading account to be able to cover the margins. So, you know, some of the bigger numbers. So actually, let's just go back to that one. So if I was going to do order to open, again, the market's not open at the moment. So let's just say I wanted to buy at 10,005. I could trade as little as 0.14 per point. Okay. Put my stop in there, limit order if I want it, take money if it hits a certain target. But again, what we're going to do here is we'll just calculate what margin would be required to 10,005 and multiply that by 0.14. Okay, and then it was 25%, I believe. So times 25%. Yeah, so you would need to trade healthcare select £350, okay, in your account. And it's because this number is much higher. Of course, if you're going to trade a pound a point, then this number is going to be much, much greater, okay? So that's how you can work that out. Normally they will calculate the margin for you, but I'm just showing you how you can do that for yourself, okay? So I'm going to conclude today's training. I hope you enjoyed this webinar. We've covered off all sorts of things. You can see how I quickly move from SharePad, where I can find out all sorts of information, and there's loads of things I could show you what to do on here. It's just fantastic. I just absolutely love it. You can just find information at your fingertips, but we can get the information from here. We can then quickly go to our spread betting chart, put in that particular stock, have a look at that. And then what I also do is, as I have identified those stocks, I'm not just going to buy or sell them. What I do is I wait until I start to see some traction. So once I start to see, so say if it's a stock that I'm looking to buy, I'm not just going to buy it straight away. To execute the trade, what I'm doing is I'm waiting for the price to cross a certain point, and then when it's breaking out again, I'm taking advantage of that, or potentially the other way, if I think it's still got chance of just pulling back, then I will be pouncing on the bounce. Getting something else that I teach in the stock trading course about pouncing on the bounce, and the cliff jumper strategies on earnings and so on. you know, there's just so many different ways that you can, you know, take advantage of what's happening. But in terms of actually trading the stocks once you found them and put them on the watch list, there is a time to get in and a time not to get in. Okay, and that's again training for another day. So I'm going to close off now. I really hope you found this very useful. As I said before, if you do want to know what's on the coronavirus list, then just let me know. You can either email me, adam@learnhowtotradeshares.com. That's adam@learnhowtotradeshares.com. You can go to my website, which is financialtraderscafe.co.uk. We've also got a Facebook group. We've also got membership groups, which is the Ultimate Trading Membership Group, where all the stocks are shared, and, you know, day trading stuff, because I do day trade the DAX as well. So that's something that we've got lots of members in there benefiting from trading alerts that come through now. So all sorts of information, resource available to you. Just need to ask if you do want to book a consultation with me, then please let me know. I think there'll be a link somewhere at the bottom of this video.